Years ago, a wealthy merchant visited our monastery. He was draped in fine silk, his hands adorned with rings that sparkled in the sunlight. But his face, oh, his face, it was heavy with worry. He said to me, "Master, I have everything. Wealth, property, success. But I feel empty. I feel as though life is slipping through my fingers like sand." I asked him, "What do you spend your days doing?" He replied, "I work tirelessly to grow my business. Every waking moment is spent chasing more." I then offered him a cup of tea. As I poured, I kept going even after the cup was full. Tea spilled over the edges and onto the table. Alarmed, he exclaimed, "Stop! The cup is overflowing." I smiled and said, "Just like this cup, your life is overflowing with things that do not serve you. How can you find peace if you fill your days with pursuits that do not nourish your soul?" Another time, I met a fisherman by the river. He was an elderly man with weathered hands and a kind smile. He told me about a young man in his village who worked endlessly to buy the best fishing boat, the finest nets, the most expensive bait. But, the old fisherman said, he is so busy preparing for the perfect catch that he forgets to fish. His words struck me deeply. Often we focus on acquiring tools and chasing perfection, forgetting to live in the moment and use what we have. The perfect time rarely comes. Life is happening now, and we miss it when we're too busy preparing for a future that may never arrive. Once, a disciple came to me with a heavy heart. "Master," he said, "I spend so much time worrying about what others think of me. Am I living up to their expectations? Am I enough?" I handed him a stone and said, "Throw this into the stream." He did as I asked, and we watched as ripples spread across the water. I then asked, "Do you see how the ripples fade?" The water forgets the stone, just as people forget our mistakes and shortcomings. Life is too short to waste on the opinions of others. Like the stream, flow forward and let go. And finally, there was a traveler who came to me after years of wandering. "Master," he said, "I have searched the world for happiness, but I am still lost." I asked him, "Have you ever stopped to appreciate the journey itself?" He shook his head. So, I took him to the hill behind the monastery at sunset. As we climbed, he grumbled about the steep path, the rocky terrain, and the aching in his legs. But when we reached the top, he fell silent, his eyes wide as he took in the breathtaking view. The golden sun bathed the valley below, and the sky was painted with hues of pink and orange. I told him, "You see, happiness is not at the destination. It's in every step of the journey, in the struggle, in the moments you almost miss. If you're too focused on what lies ahead, you'll overlook the beauty around you." Are you wasting your life chasing things that do not truly matter? Take a moment to reflect. Focus on what nourishes your soul, on living in the present, and on finding joy in the simple moments. Remember, the things you prioritize shape the life you lead. So, ask yourself, are you filling your cup with the right things?